Hello, welcome back into the Bottleham series, where we are trying to rebuild Tottenham with only English players. Now, in the last episode, and spoiler for anyone who hasn't watched it, we bottled the Champions League places by being 6th. Now, in this new season, needing to sell all the old non-English players and to have an actual full team of English players, it's gonna be tough. So that transfer window you're going to see right now, or rather players that we've gotten. First, we're gonna start with the sold players, and as you can see, there were some huge transfers, like Romero to City or Bentancur to PSG. I don't know why they got him, but they got the deadwood off us. As well as Kulusevski to Real Madrid, that's a crazy one. But also to note, Arab clubs did help us quite a lot. I mean, they got some deadwood off us, and as you're gonna see in a few seconds, they got Richarlison, yeah, our GOAT. Look at the salary, look at the price, I mean, that's crazy. And these are all the transfers out. Now, for the ins, we got some good talent like Wharton, and these are all English, of course, as these are the roles that we are bound to. But we basically need to replace almost the whole full 11, and it wasn't that easy. But these are players that are the best that we could get that wanted to actually come here. Like, look at some of these. Rashford is a crazy one. I was like, what? When I saw that we could actually get him, I was like, we need our new GOAT. As Richarlison left, we need someone else to replace that GOAT stats. But yeah, these are all the players that we have actually brought in. Some interesting transfers there, and we've not spent that much money at all. In this universe, Amorim was sacked by Manchester United. I mean, it's expected. But this is a bit different, because he was interested in the Fulham job, which they laughed off. I didn't even know this was in the game, but I understand them completely. Besides that, we have our first game upcoming, and it's against Chelsea. Not an easy game, but let's actually start the season. Finally. We started the game really well with scoring an opener through Gray. Then after that, they answered back in, I don't know, a fucking intercontinental missile with, look at this shit from Sterling. Crazy. Then the biggest stupidity ever happened with Williams getting a red card almost immediately after getting subbed on. After that, we scored a goal through, the goal with Rashford, and that was the final result of the game, with us also winning against Norwich and losing against City. Also, we've gotten our Europa League fixtures, and I expect us to win most of the games. That's not our only trouble this season, as we have these non-English players still remaining, and we need to find a solution for them. We can't play them, of course. That's according to the rules. And trying to purge the whole team isn't really gonna go well with everyone. That's evident. And this is that final full English team. I have a little bit of hope, and in the first game, it has shown how terrible this team is, as we've not only conceded that goal, but you're gonna see, it was a lot worse. At least we've gotten this banger back. Then, after that, the stupidest moment ever I've seen in FM series, like, look at this! I should be able to sell a guy after this, like instantly kick him out of the club immediately. Not only that, but we conceded even more with this abysmal goal. What was that? And Isak's on the floor, but what was that? This game, I had a headache when I saw this. And also this. We did not only concede, but we scored in such stupid ways, it was crazy. But also, they slammed on us in the 97th minute. That's how chaotic and terrible this game was. Crazy. Also this month we continued being mid. While winning against Wolves, losing against Nottingham and winning against Brighton, you'd expect us to be at least a little satisfied with the team we have and the promises we output. We've proven that we are trash, especially against Liverpool. They battered us 3-0. Not only that, but we lost against Burnley, somehow won against Arsenal, and then we got battered by Brighton. Yeah, these months we are not doing well. While losing against Ipswich, it caused us to actually be 14th, and I was in danger of getting sacked. I was really close, and the main cause was this. Look at this guy. 3 XG generated in 13 years, 0 goals. That's insane, but that XG, it only proves that we are kind of fraud as well, as looking at the table, we should be up at least a little bit more. And this fucking bald head, not only did it reduce the amount of money we have, I mean, I'm thankful he didn't sack me, but that's a terrible move too. We need to have at least a little bit of space to upgrade. And till the New Year's, I somehow survived as a head coach. While Dominic Calvert-Lewin did finally start scoring, it still wasn't an improvement at all. Let's take a look at our brighter side of the campaign, as In the Europa League, we won against the Portuguese giants. Then we won a crazy game against Vikingur, where they almost came back, but they were just shy of it. Lost against Ajax, I don't know how, and won against Basel in 2 crazy games, and winning against Sporting in another high-scoring tie. Then in January, we won against Heerenveen and lost against Augsburg, but that was enough for us to finish inside of the top 8 and to qualify directly into the round of 16. In the winter transfer window, we needed a few improvements to finally brighten the season up, and with Beno Gittens and Tariq Mitchell being the ones, sentimental prefer Tariq. I'm sorry, I needed to improve this squad somehow with any English players that I can buy. Also got these 3 non-English players out. These results we had till the New Year's, they got us in the mid-table mediocrity, which is fine considering I was not sacked, and with the next game against Chelsea, that are 15th somehow, we have a little bit of hope. Second half of the season, I needed to change the background. It was boring, right? And not only that, we also drew against Chelsea and lost against Newcastle. Yay! We are gonna do so well this season, right? Also mentally, I'm not really doing well in the squad. But at least Ruben Amorim formed the club, and he's playing against us with them in 19th. Well, we weren't even able to win against them. We barely scraped on, and at least got a revenge win against Nottingham while losing horribly again against Liverpool. We are not having this life here easy at all. But at least we won against Burnley, at least. In the next game against Manchester United, we first broke through Mainu. Then they scored back with this weird sequence happening, but nonetheless Ahmad scoring a great goal. Then they scored another one, with Garnacho still here being at United in this universe, and they're scoring a goal while my own player blocked Ramsdale. Don't know why that happened, but Edwards has proven that he's actually a really good player, and with this dribbling sequence, he really did. Then again, Edwards did well, where he assisted, you couldn't even see it. Madison actually scored the goal, but we won, and in the next 2 games, we lost both of them, with Solomon scoring 2 goals on us, Now this was definitely the wildest game of the season, I can guarantee, as looking at the first goal, you can see just how unlucky they were, and it's gonna continue in the rest of the game. But before I show you that, we need to look at the last 3 games that we played before this one, where our attack finally performed. Our defense still not doing that well, but our attack is helping it enough. Also, our goal at Rashford, in form. In this game especially, he demolished them. But they scored a few back actually, so it's not only Rashford dominance, as even though we scored another Rashford creamer here. I mean, just look at this beauty. Look at it. He belted it. I'm in awe. Besides that one, we actually conceded another one. And not only that one, but also another one. I already told you. This was a wild game. With Gabigol actually being back in Europe too. I'm happy for him. I really am. Now this was a wild one. I never expected Solanke to score something like that, but with this goal they tried to get back, but we were on top. Now we got a strange thing happening. We never had anything in rules about a player actually changing his nation, as he changed from English to Cypriot. I don't care, I'm still gonna keep him, but that's weird. Also, our youth intake, terrible as always. Nothing we expected from that. We at least record a top half finish. We're not getting sacked, I'm fine with that. Also, winning against West Ham solidified our improvement in our form, which is something I not expected at all. And a draw against Crystal Palace, even though it's not a win, it's alright for me. This is the last game of the Premier League campaign, and to say that we did play well is an understatement, and our English turned Cypriot really helped us, as you can see. Besides that, I don't have much to talk about this game. This is the last one, we demolished Leeds, and they tried to fight back a little bit, but it just wasn't enough. Overall, comparing the first half of the season to the second one, there is a world of a difference. In the second half of the season, we did much better. A little bit improved tactics, a few signings in and outs that improved the overall stature of players in the dressing room, as well as my own, to not get sacked, helped us quite a lot. To ramp us up, to actually finish formidably well. You're gonna see how well. after we finish presenting this game, as you can see by this graph here we're gonna present you, we made a huge comeback. We did well at the start, rocky start, but terrible mid-season and improvement at the end to get us into European places to finish 7th. Now, you're asking me, I've not presented any of the cups in this episode at all. We've not talked about them anymore. And this is the reason. We got knocked out of both domestic ones instantly. Awful start of the season. But in the Europa League, it's a different story. I mentioned at the start, it was a great, or rather bright part of the season, and with Ghent being our first opponents in the knockout stages and drawing the first game against them, we're expecting at least here for something good to happen, and yeah, awful. We barely scraped through, and the next round against Eintracht, I didn't have much hope at all, because they can be a tricky team, especially in Europe. Remember that round they had before? Well, this time we were not gonna let them do that, as we won with the first high-scoring game. We tamed them in the second one. Now Roma was our opponent in the semifinals, and losing in the first game after a late winner they had at their own stadium, we needed a miracle to actually win at our own stadium, and I have hope because it's a domestic game at least. Rather, the one at our stadium. With Solanke scoring our first goal, we got back into this tie, equaling the aggregate score. Then, after a mistake they made in the build-up, we were able to build our own attack up with Goat Rashford scoring this beautiful volley, and our Cypriot English guy assisting. Then, after scoring 2 and getting in the lead on aggregate, we were able to confirm that lead with Sonking extending our lead and us winning this tie 3-0. That meant that we got into the final and are facing our first opponent from this campaign. First one, Benfica. Remember that first game we won with Brendan Mia scoring that late goal? We are playing them in the final, and they can be difficult. I mean, Benfica is not a bad team, with Chiesa being there, I don't know how, and Ian Carvajal, as you could have seen. And Chiesa even played well. Look at the stats. He's playing well. I'm expecting him to cause us a little bit of trouble, and this is the team we're gonna push up in the final. I'm hopeful. This could be the game that brings this whole campaign to a happy end. I mean, that sounds sad, but anyways, this could actually get us into the Champions League again. With us being in the Conference League, that's guaranteed. This could be our next saving grace. And with these few chances happening in the game, there was nothing really at all, actually. Few off chances, nothing much happening at all. But then this chance came along, and we have used it. Our youngster Gray got us into the lead, and after this goal, there were a few off chances, but nothing really important at all. And still, besides that, nothing much happened, which meant that we were the winners of the Europa League. We replicated what happened in real life, of how mid we are, but we're gonna play in the Champions League anyways. Let's go!